Welcome back to Love Unfiltered. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Logan Forrest, and today we are diving into a deeply emotional and sensitive topic: the profound pain of losing a child and the journey of healing as a couple or family. We know this is a subject that touches the very depths of the human experience, and I want to approach it with the utmost compassion, understanding, and respect. This episode will offer a space of grief, healing, and hope. I'll be sharing personal stories from families who've experienced this heart-wrenching loss, offering expert advice on how couples can support one another through such an unimaginable time, and discussing coping strategies to navigate the deep pain that comes with the loss of a child. If you're listening today and have experienced this loss, I want you to know that you are not alone. This conversation is here to help foster healing, support, and a sense of shared strength. Let's dive in. The impact of loss. There's an emotional toll that takes place when you have lost a child. Losing a child is an overwhelming experience that shakes a person to their core. The emotional strain is immense, affecting not only the grieving individual, but also the relationship. Couples often struggle to communicate, maintain emotional intimacy, and understand each other during this difficult time. It's common for partners to drift apart or experience heightened conflict as they grieve in different ways. Statistics and research on child loss impact. Well, studies show that losing a child can significantly strain relationships. Research by the National Institute of Mental Health found that couples who experience this loss are more likely to face marital dissatisfaction and separation. Grief can manifest as anger, guilt, or sorrow, making connection difficult. Nearly 16% of couples who lost a child eventually divorced, underscoring the toll on emotional intimacy. The emotions of child's loss are intense and unpredictable. Grief is the most apparent, but anger, guilt, and confusion are also common. Partners may direct anger at themselves, or each other, or the world, and guilt may arise from questioning if more could have been done. There's also the challenge of navigating life without the child and adjusting to the changed family dynamic. Grief manifests differently for everyone. One partner may seek support from their spouse, while the other may need solitude or express grief in different ways. There's no right way to grieve. Approaching each other with patience and empathy is essential, as is recognizing that each person's grief journey is unique. Open communication and professional support can be vital for healing together. Here's how you can support each other through grief. Open and honest communication. Couples can support each other through grief by maintaining open communication. Avoiding difficult conversations may lead to isolation, while sharing feelings fosters connection. Creating a safe space to express emotions helps partners understand and support each other. Simply asking, "How are you really doing?" That can make a difference. Allow space for individual grieving as well. Grieving together is important, but so is personal space. One partner may seek solitude, while the other prefers communal healing. Respecting these differences without taking them personally ensures support without causing emotional strain. Seek professional help. Couples therapy or grief counseling provides a structured space to navigate grief together. A specialized therapist facilitates healthy communication, while individual therapy can support personal healing alongside the couple's journey. What are some common pitfalls to avoid? Placing blame. Grief can it can lead to guilt, causing partners to blame themselves or each other. Rather than assigning fault, focus on shared healing. Encouraging empathy and recognizing grief as a collective journey can help overcome blame. And emotional withdrawal. Needing space is natural, but prolonged emotional distance can create disconnection. Regular check-ins help maintain support and prevent misunderstandings. Here's some advice from therapists and grief specialists. Foster resilience. Therapists suggest couples build resilience during grief by acknowledging pain and celebrating small moments of connection. One therapist recommended rituals like lighting a candle on special days or creating a memory book. That helps couples channel grief into meaningful acts and fostering unity. Also try understanding and patience. Grief requires patience and understanding. It doesn't follow a set timeline. So one partner may, need more emotionally, they need to be more emotionally available than the other on different days. Patience is needed when one partner isn't ready to talk, and understanding when they need time alone. Accepting that grief has no finish line, and that helps couples move at their own pace. By maintaining communication, allowing space for individual grieving, seeking professional help, and avoiding common pitfalls like placing blame or emotional withdrawal, couples can support each other through the profound grief of losing a child and ultimately strengthen their bond. Now, what can happen and what can be done when it comes to coping with child loss as a family unit? You can create rituals or memorials to honor the child's memory. One way for a family to cope with the loss of a child is by creating those rituals or memorials, such as lighting a candle on their birthday, planting a tree, or establishing an annual tradition. These acts help keep the child's memory alive, offer a space of collective grieving, and provide comfort and structure during overwhelming emotions. Supporting siblings who are grieving. Siblings of a child who has passed may also experience deep grief, but they may not express it in the same way as adults. Parents should create a safe space for siblings to share their feelings, even if they don't fully understand them. Offering reassurance and involving them in memorial activities can help. Professional support like child-focused grief counseling can also aid siblings in processing emotions and learning healthy coping strategies. A strong support system is essential for families coping with the loss of a child. This network can include friends, extended family, grief counselors, and support groups for grieving parents. Family members may not always have the emotional capacity to support each other, so it's important to rely on others who can offer understanding and compassion. When building this network, prioritize people who are empathetic, non-judgmental, and willing to listen without rushing the healing process. Self-care is crucial during the grieving process, yet it's often neglected. Grieving affects both physical and emotional well-being, so taking time for rest, nourishment, and relaxation helps families stay grounded. Parents and caregivers should encourage each other to prioritize self-care, whether through walks, baths, or activities that bring joy. This is vital for maintaining the emotional strength to support one another. Seeking professional help, such as grief counseling or therapy, can also provide valuable tools for coping in a healthy way. By implementing strategies such as honoring the child's memory, supporting grieving siblings, building a robust support network, and prioritizing self-care, families can find ways to heal together. While the grief of losing a child may never fully fade, these strategies help ensure that families are supported, connected, and able to move forward in their own time. Here are some resources for grieving families that they can utilize if you are out there and grieving the loss of a child or a sibling or family member. Here are the organizations that offer support. We have the Compassionate Friends. This organization offers support to families after the death of a child. They provide resources, local chapters, and support groups to connect families who are navigating similar grief. Bereaved Parents of the USA, also known as BPUSA. BPUSA offers emotional support to parents and families who have lost a child. They have support groups, newsletters, and various grief resources to help families through the grieving process. And finally, Grief Share. Grief Share offers grief recovery support groups that meet in local churches, providing a safe space for parents or people to grieve and heal. They also have online support and resources available. There are books for grieving families, like The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. It is a beautifully written memoir about Didion's experience with grief after the sudden death of her husband and her daughter's illness. It offers a deeply personal reflection on loss and mourning. We have Healing After Loss, Daily Meditations for Working Through Grief by Martha Whitmore Hickman. This is a gentle guide offering daily meditations that help individuals process grief one day at a time. Sorry, not meditations, mediations. It's comforting and encouraging for those navigating the grief process. And finally, Tear Soup, A Recipe for Healing After Loss by Pat Skurwerbird and Chuck DeClean. A children's book designed to help explain the grieving process in a compassionate and easy-to-understand way, ideal for families who want to help their children understand and express their emotions during a difficult time. There's also online communities for support like Reddit, grief support communities. The grief support community on Reddit is a safe, anonymous space for individuals to share their stories and connect with others who are grieving. Then we also have GriefNet, an online community offering support for those grieving the death of a loved one. GriefNet has several support groups, discussion forums, and resources available to those who are coping with loss. You can also try grief counselors, hotlines, and local support groups like National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-TALK. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of self-harm or suicide related to grief, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline offers confidential support and resources. Therapists specializing in grief counseling. Many grief therapists are available locally or virtually. You can find licensed therapists specializing in grief and loss through websites like Therapy Den or Psychology Today. And finally, the National Institute of Mental Health, also known as NIMH. The NIMH provides resources on how to seek professional support and find grief-related counseling services. It's essential to remember that grief doesn't have a timeline, and it's okay to seek help whenever you feel ready. Whether it's talking to a professional, attending a support group, or reading about others' experiences, know that you're not alone in this journey. Some countless individuals and families understand your pain, and there are resources available to help you heal. Remember, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of strength. It's okay to ask for support, whether through professional services, loved ones, or peer communities. The road to healing takes time, but with the right support, it becomes more manageable, and you don't have to walk it alone. In today's episode, we explored the profound emotional toll of losing a child and the journey of healing for couples and families. We discussed the impact of child loss, the devastating effect of losing a child on individuals and relationships, and how grief can manifest in various forms, from anger to guilt and confusion. We have highlighted supporting each other through grief, the importance of open communication, allowing space for individual grieving processes while staying connected as a couple or family, Seeking professional help, like grief counseling or couples therapy, was also emphasized as a crucial tool for healing. And finally, resources for support. I shared valuable resources, including organizations, books, and online communities, where grieving families can find support and guidance. I also discussed professional counseling, options for, and hotlines for immediate assistance. Our message of hope today is healing after loss of a child is a lifelong journey, but it is possible to find light and connection amid the darkness. You are not alone. Next time on Love Unfiltered, we'll be discussing love after loss, healing and starting over. Until death do us part. It's a powerful and sensitive topic where we'll be discussing what it's like to have lost a partner or a significant other and how you can navigate that journey of grief. We can't wait to dive into it with you. So, if you know someone who might benefit from today's episode, please share it with them. And as always, I'd love to hear your stories or questions for future episodes. Feel free to send them my way. Yes, please send them my way. Because, I really would like to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the Love Unfiltered community. Your support means everything to me. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful Monday. Remember, you are never alone in your journey.